about Sam and Krystal in this last episode of Love During Lockup because I just have so many thoughts. Sam was on the phone with his girl Krystal. She goes to see the parole board in 2024 and the year is literally about to be over. So I'm sure she's already had her day in front of the parole board. And if she doesn't get approved for parole, then she's not going to be getting out of prison until 2031. But Sam doesn't seem to care. He married the girl anyways, even though she may not be getting out for another 7 years. And she doesn't know if she's going to be getting out yet or not. But he decided to go out and fully stock his pantry with groceries like Hamburger Helper. Pretty much all things that tell me that you don't know how to cook. And he is getting these things for Krystal when she gets out. He even went and got her tampons. Got Sam having a little grocery haul full of groceries that he bought for a girl who may not get out for 7 years. And you know, if it's going to be that long, he's going to eat all the groceries by then. And he went and got all these groceries. And good thing he didn't get too much because he doesn't even have like a big refrigerator to store this food. He's got like a little mini fridge like you would see a college student have in their dorm room. Krystal was talking to the producers and she was saying that Sam just lies about stupid stuff all the time. He was asking her, baby, help me pick out a fridge. And they spent all this time looking over these different fridges and comparing which one would be better. And then in the end, he ends up getting this little fridge. And this fridge can't even fit nothing. It's like you go to a restaurant and you're going to have enough room for your leftovers and a few cans of pop. Like you're literally going to have to go to the grocery store every single day or at least every other day with a fridge that size if you're cooking. But what this is telling me is that he's one of those dudes that just eat fast food every single day. Not only that, but I saw Stark has him point out that he has washer and dryer hookups, but he doesn't have no washer or dryer hooked up to either one of them. And you know, if someone is rich and they got the money, or they're just a sucker and they don't mind sending all their money to some girl in prison that they haven't spent any time with out in the free world, then go ahead, that's your prerogative. But I will never understand these people who just have, you know, normal jobs. He's an EMT. It's not like he's super rich or anything. And he's out here sending a big chunk of what he's making to this girl. And he can't even have the essentials that he needs for his day-to-day life. I used to always think the same thing about Scott, who was with Lizzie. Like, he sent Lizzie over $100,000, even though he wasn't the most confident, his teeth were messed up. And if he would have just put some of that money into himself and really worked on himself, then he could have found a girl that really loved him for him. I guess it's been quite a few years since Sam last got some. The last time he got laid was by his ex-wife. And he acts like he's been completely faithful to Krystal. But he is really frustrated in the sex department because he said he can't even get a little bit of action with Krystal because she refuses to have any kind of sex talk with him on the phone. He says every time that he tries to bring it up, she kind of gets an attitude and she's like, oh, I got people here. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that. Like, I understand it's probably got to be awkward, like being around the guards and other people. Like, I don't understand like how Hunter is full on doing stuff like that in front of people like that, feeling comfortable. But at the same time, you would think that you'd kind of try to like make some kind of exception to make her man happy if she really cared about his feelings. And if you're not a phone sex kind of girl, write him sexy letters or something. I'm sure he'll be happy with something, but she doesn't even want to try to go there with him. I think she's gonna be one of those girls that gets out and is gonna try to avoid him at all costs. I wouldn't want to be intimate with Sam either. Have you seen his fingernails when he was talking on the phone? That is a urinary tract infection just waiting to happen. And he went and decided to meet up with one of his friends who came in town. And I guess Sam really doesn't have much friends where he's living now, but this is one of his friends from back home. He picks up his friend. They're driving. They decide to go to the bar and play some pool. And on the way there, Sam's just venting about his relationship with Krystal. How she may not get out for another 7 years and she won't have phone sex with him. So he's just like sexually frustrated. And his friend really didn't know what to say. And I was like, okay, where are you trying to go with all this? That's what I was thinking. I'm like, are you trying to like hint at him that you're trying to take out some of that frustration? But then I was like, oh, he's just trying to have guy talk with his little buddy. And his buddy was thinking what I feel like all the viewers are thinking, at least what I'm sitting here thinking as I'm listening to this storyline. I'm like, how the hell is he going to wait another 7 years? That's crazy. That's exactly what his friend was saying. He's sitting there scratching his head, and he just cannot understand why Sam wants to tie himself down for that long. And so they go to the bar, they're shooting pool, and then Krystal calls, and they're talking about how much money Sam has spent on her since she's been in prison. He's admitted that he spent over $100,000 in just a few years. So Krystal's living large in prison, because I know it don't cost no $100,000 to live in prison unless you're doing drugs or you're just blowing your money on a bunch of stupid stuff like paying people to do stuff for you, like because you're lazy, like make your bed and stuff like that. Because I just don't understand how you can spend that much money in prison, because when I was locked up, I didn't spend over $100 a week in commissary, and I was living good off that. I don't know if he counted how much he was spending on phone calls into that equation, but still, goddamn, that is a lot of money to spend on someone in prison. And she can't even have phone sex with the man. And I just feel like she thinks that she opens that door with him and even just like gives him a little bit of phone sex or dirty talk, then he's gonna expect it all the time. So she's like, okay, we're just gonna keep that door completely shut so we don't even have to bother with that. And he was sitting there talking about all this money he spent on her, and she's like, just wait until I get out. You ain't seen nothing yet. And then she asked him what he was gonna do tonight, and he's like, oh, nothing. I'm about to take my buddy Cam home and we're gonna have a good time. And he was joking about like having sex with Cam, and he's like, you know, I gotta take my frustration out. And didn't I say in one of my past videos that I had a feeling there was something off with Sam? I think it was the very first video I made about Sam. I'm like, there's something about Sam. I can't put my finger on it. I feel like he might have a little bit of sugar in his tank. And now I think my suspicions might have been a little bit confirmed with how he was acting in this episode. And I would have got mad if I was his friend. Like, do not start this gay crap with me on TV. The one time I'm going to get any screen time or be on a TV show, and here all my buddies are going to see me on TV with you making gay jokes and talking about how you're going to take me home later. No, I would have been so embarrassed. And his friend was like, what? What are you talking about? And at first he laughed about it, but then you could see even he was a little annoyed that Sam made that comment. And Krystal was like, well, you better not. And he's like, well, I gotta get it somewhere if you're not gonna give it to me. And then she got all sassy with him and said, well, if you want it so bad, then you go get it, Sam, but you're the one that has to live with that choice. Then she hung up on Sam, and you know Sam's not going to go cheat on her. I have a feeling he's not going to. He's just going to go home and probably jack off and cry about it. And he said that she literally has him by the ball. Then we find out that Miss Krystal has a big secret of her own, and when she was asked by the producers if she has messed with any women in prison, she smiled and said, well, you know, everybody does in prison. It's prison. It's what we do up in here. And I feel like her big secret is she probably has a girlfriend. It's kind of giving off like, who was it? There's another girl that was in a former season. I think, oh, that girl, or was it Raydeen? Yeah, Raydeen. And she had that prison girlfriend. And then, you know, they came across Rick, and then they started plotting on Rick and using his money. And Raydeen had that little relationship or fake relationship with Rick and pretended to like him just so he could send money so Raydeen could take care of her and her prison girlfriend. And I kind of feel like that's what he's doing with Krystal. And maybe that's why she's been so expensive and needed $100,000 this past 3 years, because not only is she taking care of herself, but she could be taking care of her prison girlfriend too. And maybe that's why Krystal doesn't want to have phone sex with Sam, because maybe she's sitting there on the phone and her girlfriend's sitting right next to her. Her girlfriend might be nearby, and she doesn't want her girlfriend hearing her being intimate with this man because they just see him as a trick. That's kind of what I'm feeling like the whole situation is. I don't know, like, I really hope she wouldn't go through marrying him, but I don't know. We've seen people in the past, like Branwen, for example. She married Chaz, and the whole time you could tell she just looked at him as a trick and nothing else. I just hate seeing situations like this. It's no one else's fault but his own. I mean, how dumb do you have to be to spend that much money while you got a mini fridge? But still, like, he's just ruining his financial future from somebody that could really like him for someone that sounds like she's just using him. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see if she's really serious about him or not. But if she's not getting out this year, then I have a feeling they're probably not going to be coming back for another season. Unless we're going to see them, like, on another season of Love During Lockup. But I highly doubt that. What if we find out, like, the ultimate plot twist and she has a girlfriend and he's been hooking up with, like, guys off Grindr to get by? At this point, he needs to go get him, like, a little Krystal Jr., like with Deontay when he had Nicole Jr. to hold him by until she gets out of prison, because he might be waiting for a hot minute. But that is it for this video, guys. Let me know what you guys think about Sam and Krystal in the comments below. Do you think she really likes him? What do you think her big secret is? Sound off in the comments below. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.